Hello there. Let me sit back a little. I'm Robert McKay. Obviously the channel is Whiskey for Beginners. Equally obviously it's a thoroughly amateur production. It's been, if I remember right, a month or two since my last video. As I've explained many times on the channel, I have to work my video schedule around my work schedule and my wife's schedule. Since she's retired, she is almost always at the house, and some people might say I'm the head of the house, I should do what I want. Well, I love my wife. I choose not to inconvenience her for what is, after all, not a necessity in my life. But I'm doing something different. She's in bed. The door to the bedroom is closed. If I were in the living room on the computer, my voice might still disturb her. I'm here in the kitchen using my phone to try to record this video. And me being in the kitchen, the sound has to go that way, then that way to the door of the bedroom, and I probably won't disturb her. If this works out, I'll start doing this more often, doing reviews, maybe answering questions that have come into my mind. If you have a question that you would like me to address on a video, by all means put it in the comments. The comments below, right? That's what everybody says. They are below the video as it plays. And I choose not to follow the standard cliche in the comments. Tonight, though, rather than doing anything particular, I'm just going to pour and drink a glass of Wild Turkey 101. Now, I've been drinking already. I don't know if you can see it. The glass is smeared with fingerprints, and I was about to say lipstick. Not lipstick, Blistex. But I think the light might be better here, at least on, it looks that way on the screen. We pour some whiskey. I'm going to set that there, and this way, I don't know how well it will work overall. Well, I drink left-handed, but if I put the bottle there, maybe this will work. I'll leave the bottle there at least for a time, but I'm looking right at the bottle, or past the bottle as I look at the screen. Thoroughly amateur production. I do not have production facilities. None. It's either my laptop or it's my phone. Wild Turkey 101. This is a distillery that makes essentially just two whiskeys, a rye and a bourbon. I believe they have just the one rye mash bill. I know they have just the one bourbon mash bill. And as always happens when I start to record, my allergies are kicking up. Rather than try to hit pause without disturbing the phone, if you'll please stand by one, I'll be right back. And I am right back. Didn't do that while I was walking because I got to navigate furniture. If you know what a small apartment is, you know where I live at. It's not designed for a lot of stuff. But they have just the one bourbon mash bill, and by using different barrel houses, different barrels, different lengths of aging, they get various expressions. Some of them which I dislike, as with Russell's Reserve 10. Some of them which I really like, rare breed. Some of which I've not had, like Kentucky Spirit and Long Branch, and I haven't had their rye. And some of which I like. Not as much as the rare breed, but this stuff is good. Now, late in 2024, and I'm not the only one who noticed it. Kurt on SLB Drinks mentioned it more than once because he's a Wild Turkey dude. Something happened at their bottling plant, or at the distillery. Maybe whoever picks the barrels had a bad month picking, I don't know. But the Wild Turkey didn't taste right. I held off buying another bottle from September or October, I think it was, up until I got this one in March of this year. Where did I have that? There. That way you can see the label. That's something I've not been able to do previously, is let people see my bottle and my glass. Maybe this will work fine. I hope so, kind of, even if it does constrict me. I'm constricted. I'm not KC from Beautiful Bourbon, but I am totally nuts. I don't suffer from insanity. I enjoy every minute of it. Anyway, Wild Turkey. It had a downturn in quality. It just did not taste good. Then in March, I got this new bottle, and it's good, but it's different. Wild Turkey used to be a dark, earthy bourbon. It used to fit, in my judgment, very well with Evan Williams Bottled in Bond and Old Forester 100. They're all three, in my mind, dark bourbons. Not that they're necessarily dark in color. You can see it's about bourbon standard. But in their profile. This is, well, why don't I drink it and tell you what I get? The nose is a tad bit musty, but that sometimes does happen with bourbon. I got some Angel's Envy. I got Frey Ranch too, but Angel's Envy, because I'd had it almost 4 years ago, didn't like it, wanted to see what my now better trained palate would think. I still don't particularly care for it, but I'm going to see how things go as the bottle opens up. But it had a very musty nose tonight. This is slightly musty. If I put my nose too far in the glass or breathe too strongly, it's a spike in my right nostril, which is capable only of discerning alcohol. I don't know that I have any congenital birth defects, but I am not congenitally perfect, believe me. There's a honey note in there. Some fruitiness. Not pineapple, but it's making me think of pineapple. The only whiskey that's ever given me a pineapple note, actual pineapple, is Laphroaig 10-year, which is a peated Scotch. And if you like the peat, or if you can at least get past the peat, it's a delightfully fruity whiskey underneath. And I get about a bottle a year. It's about $55 here. But I'm a bourbon guy, and so that's probably what I'm going to do for the next few years, is restrict my foreign whiskey buying to Laphroaig 10, and if I can ever find it, Paul John Nirvana, because that stuff's good. I had a sample of it. Delightful. There is some earthiness there, but not as much as I used to expect. It does smell good, at least I think so. Now, here's something to keep in mind. Every palate is different. What I think smells good, you might think smells bad. What I think tastes fantastic, you might think is just mid. So if you don't like Wild Turkey 101, that's okay. If you do like something that I don't like, that's okay. You don't have to follow any crowd. Just drink what you like. Honey again on the palate, cinnamon. It has your standard bourbon mouthfeel. It's neither especially creamy or smooth or silky or whatever, nor especially watery. I don't know what they proof it down from, and of course every barrel has a different proof as the angel share affects it, even though it all goes in at the same proof. There's a little bit of brown sugar there. It's not what Wild Turkey 101 used to be. It's still good, but it's not as good as it used to be before that, what I call the bobble, back in late 2024. Now, why did I bring this bottle out? Well, I do a rotation. I have, as of today, 18 bottles. I don't have the room to store more. I could clear off my bookshelves, but I want my books. I gotta have my books, because sometimes nothing I want is available at the library, and so I read what I own, which is not many, but it's enough. I just don't have the room to store more, and even if I did, well, if I bought a bottle a week, say, at a price of anywhere from 30 to 70 bucks, I could build up slowly a big collection. But I want to be able to drink what I have. I don't want to forget something that's back off in the corner and not touch it for 5 years. And there are some people who have so much whiskey that the stuff they care for less. It's not that they don't like it, they just don't like it as much as something else. It sits back there for years and they don't touch it. And there's nothing wrong with people doing that. It's not my style. I want to be able to drink everything I have. So I have 18 bottles, and I put them into a randomizer. I use random.org. And then I randomize it, and I try to make sure that 2 bottles from the same distiller are separate by 1 or 2 bottles. So that, for instance, I have 2 bullets. I thought about getting bullet bottled in bond today, but I decided not to. I have the bullet 10-year, and I have the regular 90 proof bullet. So when I randomize it, I keep going until they're separate, so that I don't drink bam bam bullet. Occasionally things work out to where it still happens, but that's life. But I randomize them, then I go from bottle 1 to bottle 2 to bottle 3 on through bottle 20. Or 18, I said. Then I re-randomize and go through, and then I re-randomize and go through. So the rotation brought me Wild Turkey first. I never noticed there's a turkey on the top. I don't think you're going to be able to see that. Some people get all exercised about corks. I don't. On the Frey Ranch I bought, you could brain somebody with that cork. It's big and heavy. On my Hard Truth High Road Rye, it's the tightest cork I've ever seen. Every time I pull it out, I'm afraid I'm going to break it. But the Wild Turkey was the next in the rotation, so that's what I pulled out. That's what I have here, and I'm not complaining. Although it's not the same, it's still good. And not all bourbon is at the same quality. There's some that's way up in the stratosphere. There's some that's way down in the basement. Most of it is in a zone from good to superb. And I made sure to keep my hands in the picture on that. And if you insist on only drinking the finest bourbon, that's your choice. More power to you, but you're going to spend a lot more money. Although some of what I think is fine bourbon is in the $20 to $40 range. My favorite whiskey of all time, of all varieties, is Balcones Texas Pot Still Bourbon, Used to cost me 30 bucks, now it's down to 28, and there's about 1 year's supply left going on what they told me last year. They don't make it anymore. They're going to focus on single malt, which is actually single malt, which is actually whiskey made from a mash of 100% sprouted barley. Call it barley whiskey for Pete's flaming sake. We ain't in Scotland. My ancestors are Scottish, but I don't want to be in Scotland. I might want to visit, but I want to go back to Texas. That's what I want. My wife likes it here. Guess who wins that discussion? Anyway, this is just an experiment video. I'm not trying to keep to a topic. And it's just coming up on 16 minutes long. So I am going to move this out of the way so I can get to the button on the screen and turn it off in just a bit. In the meantime, I have an actual glass with actual whiskey in it. No more Marianne Moore and her real gardens with imaginary toads. And I say to you, well, I don't want to do Here's Mud in Your Eye. And I don't want to do Here's How. Cheers.